Happy Valentine's Day. Um, Hopefully I actually get this up on Valentine's Day. It's gonna depend. It's like the end of the night of Valentine's Day, but let's go with the Valentine's Day theme and talk about shelter romances because that's a thing. A very common thing. For those of you who are weird like me and like to watch prison shows, um, there's the prison romances, and this is very similar, and I don't know if it just straight up comes from like not being able to cope with shelter life and not wanting to be alone. Sorry, I'm trying really hard to. There's like this couple talking, and I'm trying not to get it all. But anyway, so I don't know. Like, but everybody in life needs romance, I guess. Not everybody, but there's plenty of aromantic people out there. But yeah, shelter romances are super common. It's very much similar to prison romances, but also like you get physical contact. Men and women are separated, and obviously that doesn't stop everybody because there are plenty of
Sorry about that.
Sorry, it's okay. There's plenty of homosexuals, bisexuals, pansexuals. I have a friend who is a transgender woman, transgender woman of color at that. And but like there's rules against like only one person to a mat. You can't even like. I had a friend sitting on my mat one time. She was just sitting on my mat. We weren't near each other. There's like a 1 foot gap, and they were like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, oh man, don't you see all this making out we're doing? But there are people who flirt with the guards. There's people who do more than just flirt with the guards. Which, I mean, like, a guard in some ways, or security, or safety, whatever they call themselves, I guess in some ways are better than, I don't know, I can't say better, because I try not to see anybody as better or worse than anybody else. Like, I'm there too, and I'm not any better than anybody else, but at least with safety, you are guaranteed that they at least have a job that's not drug dealing, which is really common there as well, of course. Yeah. It's Valentine's Day. There's a lot of people on the streets right now. Yeah, this is, I'm sure I'm the best YouTube channel up there right now with all these background talking and background noise. It's great. I wish there was something I could do about it, but this is really the only way I can record right now. And it's very authentic and very real, and I kind of like that because that's a big part of the point of what I'm doing. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely like no contact rules that people follow-ish. You're not supposed to share a blanket with anybody. Like, you can't be sitting in chairs next to each other and both of you covered in the same blanket. You can't both be in the same chair. You're not supposed to be sitting like on each other's laps or anything like that. You're not supposed to like lay anywhere and cuddle. Like, they don't complain about hugging. but like kissing is a no. Yeah, I mean, like, you're always gonna find people who find ways around it. And of course, a lot of these people have no issues with going off to a less than clean place to get their freak on. There's plenty of public bathrooms in the world. They'll find one. Yeah, I mean, and I will say that as a woman who is single and there by myself, a strong, independent woman, my therapist would say, I get hit on a lot, and it's not always friendly, and it's definitely usually not wanted. I would say 99% of the time. Like, I'm okay with, like, my best shelter friend who was there, him and I would kind of flirt, but like it was never anything serious, and like that didn't bother me. However, this is trigger warning. If you are sensitive to rape threats or being drugged, then I would skip ahead a little bit. But I had one guy come up to me and tell me, "Ooh, girl, if you lose any more weight, I'm gonna have to get a blunt and lace it with something and take what I want." Definitely not what I would consider a compliment. Like, thanks for noticing my weight loss. It's pretty great, but please don't comment on my weight loss by telling me that you plan to drug and rape me if I continue to lose weight. And this is somebody that has repeatedly hit on me, and I have made it very clear to him that I'm not interested and it'll never happen, and he just can't take no for an answer. But because he's not done anything like directly harmful to me, or because it's complicated, because like I'm not in direct danger, he's not a direct threat at the moment, so there's really not much I can do about it. I can tell safety, but it's just gonna be like, well, just don't talk to him, just avoid him. But it's not easy to avoid people here completely. I can only do so much because there's only so much campus. It's not huge. There's only a certain number of buildings. There's only a certain number of rooms that we're even allowed into within those buildings. He sleeps in the same building that I sleep in. And if I'm standing in a line for a meal, which is something else I will get into, the number of lines that we have to stand in is pure insanity. But, you know, I'm not going to leave my place in a meal line, so, you know, where I need to eat, just because this dude is coming up to talk to me. And, like, I can ignore him, but it doesn't really work. There are handicapped people of all kinds, mentally, physically, just really, it's just a huge range of people with a huge range of disabilities or disorders or what have you. Again, I'm a punch bowl full of acronyms, so I'm again no better than anybody else. There is one guy who I'm not sure if he has dwarfism of some kind, but I would not be surprised. And there's obvious physical deformities with his legs, which, you know, whatever, that's cool, whatever. But he likes to start shit, and he likes to talk a lot of shit, and he is another one who seems to be unable to take no for an answer. Unfortunately, my locker is right next to the only outlet in the building where I sleep, which is called the Pavilion, just to make it easier, the Pavilion. And he's laying on the floor one day and next to my locker, and my locker's the top locker, so I'm standing up on a chair because I'm super short, and he's like, "Ooh, what's your name?" And I was like, "None of your fucking business," because I already knew where this was going. And I was like, I'm not a rude person by nature. Kindness is my default. However, you kind of have to be rude with some of these people sometimes, especially the men. Otherwise, they think that because you're nice to them, it's an open invitation. And I was getting ready to go out, and I just did not want to deal with him. So then he keeps asking me a bunch of questions. He's like, "Oh, you don't want to talk to me because you're a lesbian, right?" No, I just don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you like that. I don't want none of that. Well, since then, he has made it a personal goal of his, to hit on me pretty much every time I'm around him, and I just ignored him. And last night he was being really loud and fighting with this dude, and then when this dude's like, "Come on, stand up, come on, you want to talk all this game, go ahead, like, you stepping up to the wrong motherfucker." Although he said the N-word, and I will not, I don't say that word. So he's like, "Well, my legs are fucked up, my legs are messed up." Okay, then quit talking all that shit. And he's just sitting there talking. And I straight up, like, sometimes, like, it's bedtime. I gotta go to work in the morning. But y'all are driving me nuts. So I was straight up like, "Please shut the fuck up. Like, you say your legs are fucked up, but obviously your mouth is, because you have not stopped talking." So I feel like I kind of got off the subject of shelter romances a little bit. Well, I mean, okay. So shelter romances are a thing of all kinds. There's all kinds of relationships here. Lots of drama within those relationships. Very prison relationship style. And there's a lot of harassment. A lot of sexual harassment. A lot of stupid dudes who can't take no for an answer. Plenty of dudes who will sleep with whatever female will give it to them. Plenty of females who will sleep with dudes for drugs. It's a rough situation. However, it's not unmanageable. And there are definitely, like, I don't ever feel unsafe there. Even with that guy. And, you know, I do carry protection on me. Like, I have a weapon on me. You know, so happy Valentine's Day. There's a little bit of information about having a love life in a shelter, which is not something I will ever do, but something I see a lot. This is not on my list of topics to discuss, but I thought with it being Valentine's Day, it would be the topic that I discussed. So, with that being said, I'm almost to shelter. I'm gonna try to upload this and then go to bed. And thank you everybody who's watched. Thank you everybody who has shared my videos. Thank you for just the love and support. And I'm gonna try to make a video on coping in the shelter here soon. So that being said, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.